around, I scratch my backside, and we get going. Big welcome, everyone. We haven't realised we've been live there for having a clue how long there, and I was going around scratching ourselves, picking our noses, doing whatever, not realising we're live.
Angela says, thank God you weren't slacking us off.
Absolutely, and not having a bitch. I was giving out about the way Sinead hung the aprons on the stand. That's probably all after being live. Okay, happy Monday. Is it the morning? Is it the afternoon? We're just on the verge. So if you're still half asleep, like ourselves here this morning, it's good morning to you. If you've been on the ball since early today, which we have been as well, it's good afternoon. So I'm like the Christmas elf here today. We're making Christmas wreaths. And I said, you know what? I'm all organised. Why don't I do a demonstration? And then Deirdre said, why don't you do 2 demonstrations? So give us a little bit of feedback. First of all, where are you watching in from? So start commenting, let me know where you're watching in from. Second thing we need to know is what's the weather like around the country. Not as cold as Friday, but it's definitely pretty cold today. And the third thing I want to know, do you want to learn how to do an all natural kind of a jewelry, or would you like to learn how to make a glitzy one? So majority is going to win. So who'd like to learn kind of more of a natural sort of themed type of jewelry, and who would like to learn a more glitzy sort of style? So start commenting below, and then you never know, I might get started. Now, we get a lot of questions about how to add eucalyptus into their jewelry, right? So this is just a branch of eucalyptus, and all you do is just cut up the sprigs of eucalyptus into short little pieces, and then place 1, 2 or 3 of them together. See, like what I'm doing there. Then get a 20 gauge wire. Make sure it's a 20 gauge wire. So if somebody wouldn't mind putting that in the comments, 20G, okay? Because a lot of people make the mistake and they go and get 22 or 24 or 19, and it's going to be completely wrong. So make sure it's a 20G, 20 gauge wire.
It's so very much half-o here what's coming in for glitzy and natural. I think you'll have to do the 2 of them, Jeanette.
So with the 20 gauge wire, what I'm doing is I'm making a little hook. I'm resting it on the end of the stems, okay? I'm pinching it with my left hand, and you see the way my left hand is on top? I'm holding the wire about halfway down, and I'm wrapping it around 2 or 3 times. So again, taking up the 1 or 2 little pieces of eucalyptus, placing them together, pinching them really tight, left hand on top, 20 gauge wire. So anybody joining late has already hopefully been put in the comments.
It is, Angela King has it in the comments, and who else? There's a few other people have them in the comments as well.
That's what I need. A little hairpin bend, place it on the end there, pinch it, and wrap it around. Now a lot of you are going to say, where will you buy the bunches of eucalyptus? You'll get them either off Irish Green guys that are down in Kerry, or you'll get them from Wicklow Foliage Farm, and they're in County Wicklow.
And Feely's Florist, who have just joined us in Sligo, they sell them as well, don't they?
Absolutely. So you can go over to Feely's Florist in Sligo. Mihal, just say you're a friend of Jeanette. He'll always give you a big discount. He'll always look after you, and you'll be able to buy your bunches of eucalyptus off him. Anybody that's over the west side. Now what I have here is a pre-made base, okay? So it comes in knobless or Christmas foliage, Christmas spruce, Christmas tree greenery. So I have bought this frame in already made. Now over the next month, because we're into December, I will be doing lots of free classes, okay? Free online classes, and I will show you how to actually make this base. And if you go to our blog page, and our blog page is on our website, so if somebody in the comments there puts in www.kaysflowerschool.com, that's our website. And what you need to look for is the website page on the website.
The blog page.
Oh, sorry, the blog page on the website. Thank God Deirdre's on the ball here this morning. And you'll be able to watch free classes there. Like at the moment, I think there's a Christmas candle arrangement up there, and it's a Christmas wreath.
There's a Christmas wreath as well.
So
went
this
up this morning,
like,
yeah.
obviously for the demonstration, we do things kind of pretty fast. You know that way for the demonstration, and it's hard to see things up close for a live class because at the moment we're live on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube,
and on TikTok.
We're on TikTok as well. So it's very hard for Deirdre to come in close to show you all the detail, but if you go to the blog page later on, you'll be able to watch all this where she's zooming in and zooming out.
Okay, we just do a quick shout out. We have Valerie is watching in from America, and she's saying Merry Christmas.
Hiya, Valerie.
Martha is watching in from South Wales. Karen says is watching in from a cold Banbridge. Sonia is watching in from County Antrim, and she'd love the glitzy. Let's see, Fiona is watching in from Edinburgh, or in Scotland, just between Glasgow and Edinburgh, and the rain is washing away the snow, so thank God.
Thank God, yeah, because we had Sinead home at the weekend. Sinead, our virtual assistant, and like she drove down in the snow from Inverness to, was it Edinburgh Airport she came in? I can't remember what airport she came in at. This is what it's looking like so far, and I am going to explain to you how I'm inserting the eucalyptus.
Felicity is watching in from Dubai. I'm sure it's nice and cold over there too.
Definitely.
Let me see, who else have we got? I'm just trying to, when I move the Instagram camera, it wobbles on me, so you get a bit of a wibbly wobbly in it. But and we've Marvin is watching in from the Pacific Ocean, Guam.
Well, Julie Matthews are watching from all over the world, so make sure you let us know what's the weather like your part of the world. Let me know, would you prefer to watch a glitzy sort of wreath or a natural sort of wreath? And also, well, yeah, you're letting us know what part of the world you're in. So how, I showed earlier on how to wire up the eucalyptus. So all I'm doing onto the pre-made base is I'm inserting the wire down into the base, and the wire comes out through the other end. Can you see here where the wire has come out through the other end? And then what I do with the wire is I make like a horseshoe bend, like a U bend, and then I basically stick the wire back up into the base. And it's obviously easier to do this when it's flat on the table. So how you do it at home, wherever you want to insert it. So I want to put a piece of eucalyptus here. Bring that over to your side of your stomach, okay, that's resting against your belly. Overlap it over the edge of the table. Insert the wire down through the base like I showed you there earlier on. Now sometimes what happens is you'll hit a branch when you're sticking, inserting it. Just move it over to one side. And then the hand that's underneath feels around, gets that wire, makes the U-bend and pushes it back up into the base, and it finds its own space. Now I want to put another piece of eucalyptus there. So spin it around on the table that it's always close beside your stomach. Insert the wire down into the base. And again, just push the wire back up into it. So do you see the difference the eucalyptus has made to the spruce base, okay? So as I said there earlier on,
even like that on its own is gorgeous,
isn't it? Yeah. And you could add other varieties of foliage. If anybody has silver Sussex grown in the garden, or they have some wild ivy grown in the garden, add some of that, because again, you can't beat these winter foliages. They last for absolutely ages and they'll dry out. Like if you could start making these last week, okay? So from now on, these are going to last way into the new year. The eucalyptus will just dry out, and again, the scent of it is absolutely fabulous.
Anne-Marie wants to know, are we doing any more Christmas workshops?
No, unfortunately our Christmas workshops are finished. Believe it or not, we actually have the one up for next year already up on our website. What's the date?
The 30th of November.
30th of November will be next year's wreath making workshop. They are always booked up. Like anyone that was there at the weekend, the amount of returning customers, people who were with us last year or the year before, they come along, it's always great crack. And the amount of people who came in a group, now lots of people came on their own as well, but people came like mums and daughters, friends. With 3 birthday parties we had. I tell you, Deirdre was wore out making birthday cakes at the weekend. With 3 birthday parties at it, and it was just great crack. So go to the website, click on Christmas, and you get all the details for next year. Now anyone that was here this year, they get an early bird discount, okay?
So watch your text messages.
And they'll be getting an email or a text the next few days with their early bird discount that they can again reserve their place on next year's, and they know they're going to get it a little bit cheaper.
Michelle over on TikTok wants to know, how long will that last out of water?
The eucalyptus?
Yeah.
Oh, it'll just dry out, okay? And it'll look really well. So start making them yesterday, like, you know what I mean? Don't run, don't walk, run. Start making these last week, to be honest. Hang them on your door outside and they'll be absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to go for the all natural winning on the
It's half and half, to be honest with you.
Okay, if you keep commenting, and if I see people sharing this video, okay, so click share and put in the comments that you have shared it for me, okay? If enough of you share it, I'll do a glitzy one as well. So this berry that I have here is called Ilex, I-L-E-X, okay? I'm not sure whether you could grow it. This is an imported one. And you can see there, I'm just cutting it into chunks, okay? And using the same 20 gauge wires, I'm making that little hook I talked about earlier on, pinching it at the end, wrapping it around the stems, and I'm wiring up some berry. This berry lasts for ages, okay? Now in water especially, it'll last about a month. But after a while, it then starts to dry out. And I've often had this in my house, Patrick's Weekend. Now what happens as it dries out, the berries, the little balls, they start to shrink. I suppose like all balls, with old age they start to shrink and they go a little bit black. But they can still look really, really well. So that's what it looks like, to see what the berries wired up. So what I'm now going to do, using the same technique, I'm going to add some of the ilex berry in and out through this frame. So it's how you can actually dicky up, as I call it, dicky up a frame that's pre-made, you know what I mean, that you buy maybe in your supermarket. You go into your local florist, you could buy it. Or sometimes I find, I'm going to knock supermarkets now, sometimes you find some of the supermarket wreaths that you buy, there's hardly any decoration on them. And like you're buying the frame and they have about 2 cones and, you know, 1 bell or a bit, you know what I mean, one poinsettia flower. Where sometimes buy the base and actually pull all the decoration off, and then you have the pre-made base like I started with, and then start decorating it up yourself. Do you see the difference with the berry going through it? Now again, I need to see a couple more shares. How are they going on the share?
Well, they're over on TikTok. They're sharing actually very well over on TikTok.
And what about the rest of them?
There's been 3 or 4 shares over on TikTok, so
right.
Thanks a million for
if
that.
There's not enough shares on the Facebook and the Instagram. I'll just keep to the natural.
We just stop. We just turn it off.
I'll turn yours off and I'll just stay on TikTok.
There was a question just come in there that her mum is a florist, and what would be a present that she could buy? Or she's not a florist. She likes flowers. And what would she buy her
Why
for
don't
Christmas?
you get her a gift voucher? You know, so what we have is over on our website. Again, somebody put it in the comments there. www.kaysflowerschool.com. Go down to the very end of the page, and on the left hand side I have a link for gift vouchers. Somebody might even put the link up there for the gift vouchers for me. And why don't you get her a gift voucher, and then she can pick whatever course she wants to. Like again, at the weekend, at the wreath making class, we had a lot of people who got gift vouchers throughout the year. And they then booked onto the class. And some of them actually had a balance where their voucher was worth more than what the course was. And what they did was they were able to buy like extra sundries and materials for using up at home then, and making extra arrangements when they went home.
Sally says, thank you for the tip about working to your tummy. I've made wreaths for years, did it the wrong way, ended up with a bad back, and it took me a while to adjust.
It's so awkward to work that way. I see the amount of people, and it's one of the things at our workshop, like, you know what I mean, we had 11 shooters at our class there on Saturday, and I warned them, I says, make sure everybody works towards themselves. And by bringing it over to the table like I'm showing you there, like I call this my gynecology hand, Sally, right? So when I'm sticking in the item and I'm pushing in the wire, so this is my stronger hand, the gynecology hand is finding the wire underneath, and he's poking around and he's doing all the work. It's a he, by the way. He's doing all the work there without me actually having to lift up on the table. And then what I do is I spin it around as if the edge of the table was a turntable. As you can see there, I just keep spinning it around and I'm able to add in the material. So what I'm adding in now is some dried orange lemon slices, okay? And I have wired all of these in 2s. Now again, you find on camera for a live class like what I'm doing here now, it's hard to actually show you the detail because, as I said, we're on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, the whole lot right across the board. So we do have a free step-by-step video of how to make different styles of wreaths, okay? May not be necessarily this one, because they're always different, okay? Every time I demonstrate, I do a different wreath. I never have a plan. I definitely don't have a strategy. I always say I just make it up as I go along. But if you watch the videos over on the YouTube, where Deirdre will actually zoom in then on the detail, and you'll see exactly how I wire it. So what I've just added in, as I said, I was purposely keeping this one kind of more natural. So that's what it looks like now, with some berries and some orange slices going in now through it. So
Jan wants to know, when can we start hanging these on our doors?
Should have had it up for the Late Late Show there 2 weeks ago. You're dead late, you are. So I always say around the 26th of November, especially anybody that has kids in the house, is start adding or start making your door wreaths around the last week in November and have it hanging on the door for the toy show. So there's one for everyone in the audience basically. So I have all these pine cones wired up, okay, and as you can see, it doesn't take me any length then to add them in. Now, when I'm adding in the pine cones, I like to add pine cones towards the inside of the wreath frame. So just to show you there, see, towards the inside, but also I like to add them in towards the outside as well. Where a common mistake I see with people is when they're adding in the pine cones is to keep them all in a straight line. whereby zigzagging them, you know what I mean, outside and inside, because these are fabulous chunky bases. And it just makes the wreath look chunkier, you know that way, and fuller, and obviously that little bit more expensive looking, do you know that way. You would pay big money for a wreath like this, depending on what part of the city you're in, what county you're in. But I know if you're in around Grafton Street here in Dublin, you'd be up around the €100 for wreath for what I'm actually making here now.
Eliza, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, sorry. She wants to know, did we get the SkillNet funding for Module 1?
We did. Were you not on there the other day? I announced it all. So for Module 1 starting on the 24th of January, they're actually giving us a 30% grant instead of a 20% grant. So where the course fee is €800, you'll actually get it for €560. Now it's not a grant, it's a discount up front basically. So all you have to do is book your Module 1 course directly through the SkillNet link that we give you. Maybe one of the girls there might be able to put it in the comments. But you know what? If you just put in the comments, you're looking for the SkillNet link.
Or drop us an email.
Drop us an email, info@kaysflourschool.com. Or put a question, anyone watching this on the replay later on, put a question in that you'd like to get the link.
And she wants to know, after doing Module 1, is she ready to work in a flower shop?
No. That'd be like training to be a nurse and doing 3 months and then saying, am I a nurse? No, like that would just be the first part of the course. But everybody does the courses for different reasons. So some people want to work in a flower shop, some people want to work from home, some people want to open up their own business, some people want to do events, some people want to be a wedding specialist, some people might want to work in undertakers, and some people might want to work just for the busy occasions like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, etc. These are called lotus pods or lotus heads, and again I always feel for a natural wreath they can look really well. I've just kind of like added 2 of them in there, you see, just so that you can see it. And also what I have here is a couple of the whole mandarin oranges. You see the way these are dried already, and again I have them wired. And on our blog page you'll get videos, okay, showing you how to wire all of this material, and again it'll be close up.
And if you're watching on Facebook, Celine has just posted the link to the SkillNet funded courses.
And I think I definitely have enough of that. So that is our natural wreath. And now don't go away, because enough of you voted for a glitzy wreath as well. So I am going to do another one for you.
Are you going to put a bow on it?
Oh, I might put a bow on it. You basically said that you forgot to put the bow on it. I did. So what I have here, this is only polycrop ribbon, okay, cheap ribbon. And I'm using this for our hanger for going on the door, okay. So I'm just hooking it around the base. That's the base there. You see at the back? Just you can barely see it then in the front, okay? And then I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm not going to make a loop or anything. And it means then when the customer brings it home, they can hang it on their own knockers. Okay, if you want to put a bow on it, I have this lovely kind of velvety velour ribbon in this kind of green. I have it in the dark green as well.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer the dark green.
Okay.
I'm just
making a face here.
Little T Flowers is saying that they're freezing there making wreaths. Hi lady, it's Keisha from America.
Hi Keisha, how are you?
My husband can't wait for next month and Jeanette moves in again.
I think you're in New York, I think, is it, or was it Florida? Can't remember what part of America you're in. Great to hear from you, brilliant. So what I have here is just a strip of ribbon, and I kind of like folded it that I have the right side. You see there is a back to it, you know what I mean? That I have the right side looking out, and I'm just making a hairpin bend, wrapping it around. And I'm going to have this kind of coming out of the top and just falling down. So it's not a bow as such. I often find for these kind of like natural wreaths, just a little bit of ribbon can be enough, you know, the way coming down. And I have the ends of the ribbon kind of like fancied off as well.
A couple of people are asking over on TikTok, Jeanette, what website sells the best quality flowers?
All of them. Say, all of them do, yeah. But I suppose Evergreen Silk Plants in our D County Lab, they have a good selection of silk flowers.
Not silk, just flowers.
Oh, flowers.
Yeah,
sorry, I thought you said silk flowers. We would buy a lot of our flowers in direct from Holland, from the Dutch suppliers, because it is coming straight from the growers. And if you are commercial or you're in business, I suppose Hook Flowers would be probably our first go-to, Hoek. Vanderplas would be our second. And Flory Smart would be our third, for no particular reason.
Yeah.
It depends on the course that we're doing. It depends on the deliveries. It depends on the minimum amounts. Depends on the type of flowers that we're looking for, because again, different suppliers deal with different
And
growers.
we do cover a lot of that
And
on module 1.
As part of our programs, we advise our students, we use such a grower for our orchids, and we use such a grower for our lilies, and we use such a grower for our roses, and again we're able to advise them. That's why it's better to use Vanderplas for such a flower or Hook for such a flower. So we cover all of that. And again, any of them questions, like all our students get one-to-one access to us. So again, we can advise them as we go along.
Jennifer wants to know, she loves this. She says, are wreaths for the graves made differently?
Well, do you know what? I see people, I'm adding a little bit more eucalyptus into this one. So again, I have a pre-made base. And for anyone that's just joining us now, I've already done a wreath, okay? So again, if you go back to the beginning, you'll be able to watch the other one from start. But the first one I did was I kept it very natural. And this one I'm going to kind of go a little bit more glitzy with it, okay? Just a little bit of bling kind of going in and out through it. So back to the question for the graves. Some people, when they're making wreaths for a grave, they make them real plain and ordinary, where I personally like to make them fancy. So like that wreath that I made there, that was natural, I would use that on a grave. Like, I think that would be fabulous for a grave. And this one that I'm going to do now, that's going to be more blingy and glitzy, I would use that one on a grave as well. So I don't believe in making, this is me personally, okay? I don't believe in making miserable wreaths, okay, for going on graves. I like them to be fancy and classy looking.
It's Christmas in heaven too.
It's Christmas in heaven as well, and it doesn't matter what heaven you're in. So I like to make them a little bit fancy. But it obviously depends on the budget that you're on. Where the fancier ones are going to be that little bit more expensive. And sometimes you find with graves, is people have, I'm losing my wire here, I am, my gynecologist is a bit stuck here. People often find when they're buying wreaths for graves is they have to buy a few of them, and it can be work out expensive, and that would be, I suppose, a reason why some flower shops would do kind of very plain ones for graves and fancier ones for doors. But I know my grandparents were all into Christmas, and we would go all out with their wreaths, you know, that way when we're placing them on the graves. So this one, because I'm going more blingy, I'm not going to put as much eucalyptus into it as the one that I did previously, okay?
Somebody just asked Jeanette there, what size base is that?
So these are on a 12-inch base, okay? But again, the material is placed on, the spruce is placed on an angle, which actually makes it 18-inch wreath in, you know, when it's completed. So it's 18 inches across. Some of them might go up to 19 and another one goes up to 20, but they're actually made on a 12-inch base there at the back there, just to kind of like let you see. And as I said, I will have more, for the month of December, I'm planning on doing lots more live classes. Today it's Monday, so I'm kind of like only half with it today, because we had a busy weekend we had. So I'm only half with it. So today I'm being lazy and I'm using a pre-made base. And it's not even about being lazy. To be honest, 99% of my work I use pre-made bases. But I will show you how to do one from scratch, and show you how to moss your frame and get your spruce on and get all your different varieties of foliage on. So I will show it to you, not obviously today or tomorrow, but one of the days. Now in the last wreath, okay, I used all fresh berries in it. This one here, as I said, I'm going to make this kind of more glitzy, is I'm adding in artificial holly that has an artificial berry on it. And I always find with, not the ilex now, but fresh holly, I find doesn't last as long. Now from about now, I always say the 8th. What date are we on today?
4th.
The 4th, okay, so we're in and around. From around the 8th of December onwards, that's when I would recommend adding fresh holly into the wreaths. I find before that, what happens is the leaves all fall off and it goes black. So I'm just using an artificial holly going in and out through that. But I showed you in the previous one, I'm trying to make this one a bit different. I did show you in the previous one how to...
Are you going to put a bow on?
Put a bow on. How to... can't remember what I was saying. David put me off. So David just reminded me about putting my bow on this wreath here. So I said, it's Monday, we're half asleep here. So I have this gorgeous red velvet, red velour ribbon. And this bow is what we call the collar bow. Now the collar bow is just a name that we have put on here at the school. Because I always say it's like putting a scarf around your neck or your collar and then kind of crossing it. You see that effect there. And this is what we call the front of the bow, where my hand is now, and what's at the back of my neck is called the back of the bow. But when you physically go to make the bow, you can't make it on your neck. You have to make it on the counter, okay? So lie it down on the counter, and then kind of as if you were making a scarf wrapped around somebody's neck, you know, the way, is kind of bring it over. So there I have the front of the bow, which is here. and this is the back of the bow, which is around my neck. And if I hold it up like this, so you can see it. And what you do then is you put the front of the bow flat on top of the back of the bow, just see like that. And then where my two thumbs are, hopefully you can see them wiggling there, is you then start to make little pleats, little gathers, little squashes, little pleats, little gathers, little squashes, and basically squeeze the hell, you see, out of the middle of the bow there. You then get a wire. Don't worry about it looking a little bit messy. I'll tidy it up now in a second. You get a wire, you wrap the wire around, you pinch the wire together at the back, and then you wrap one wire around the other. And then you're able to go back then and fluff or puff out your bow. So like, give it a nice little puff there, fluff it out and pull down your two little tails. And again, I already had the end of the ribbon kind of fancy. So what I'm going to do is I have a bow here, or sorry, a poinsettia here. Now some people like to put their bow at the top of the wreath, and others like to put it at the bottom of the wreath. So I'm going to put mine at the bottom of the wreath. And again, like earlier on, the side that you're working on, always bring it over towards your stomach, okay? So I'm going to insert this wire. Again, anybody that's late joining us, we've showed you all the tricks at the beginning. I'm now actually on the second Christmas door wreath. So just rewind this video when you're finished and go back and look at it from the beginning. Now again, we really would appreciate if people shared this video. The more you share, the longer I'll stay on and the more things I'll demonstrate. Or I might even say, do you know what, tomorrow I might come on and I might do another one, which is like that. Comment underneath. And again, if there's something else that you'd like to see me demonstrate, maybe a door swag, maybe a candle arrangement, maybe something for a grave, you know that way. So again, comment underneath if there's something that you'd like me to demonstrate, because obviously we have another, 2 or 3 weeks up to Christmas time, and I'll try and go live a little bit more for you. Now what I have now is these kind of like velvety velour poinsettia flowers, okay? And they come in on these like long hard plastic stems. And again, the side I'm working on, bring it over to my stomach and insert the flower down through the base. The wire comes underneath, make a horseshoe bend on it, and then stick it back up into the base, okay? And again,
Lucy Lou Flair said she'd love to see a door swag.
Okay.
Celine says she'll have to do catch up that she missed a bit. Gina says your jacket is fabulous, but she says she wants it. And somebody over on TikTok wants to know, can they buy the wreath?
No, you can't buy the wreath. I'm going to give this away to someone. So the jacket was bought in walk-in wardrobe. They're up the north, and anybody who watches me, you think I was on a sponsorship from them, because an awful lot of my clothes I buy in walk. If it's not an ASOS, it's in walk-in wardrobe. These are artificial apples, okay? And I'm just going to add 2 or 3 of them, and I just kind of find they kind of give a little bit of a, you know, picking up the red that's in the arrangement. So just adding 2 or 3 of them. No particular pattern for adding them in.
Over on TikTok, somebody saying they'd love to see a candle arrangement. And Nancy on Facebook is saying a hydrangea door swag or a hydrangea wreath.
Now remember, the hydrangeas are out of season at the moment. Now I do have dried hydrangeas, like I could do one in dried hydrangeas, but fresh hydrangeas this time of the year, you could get imported ones, but they're not great quality. If you ever buy something that's out of season, it's not as good quality as if you had bought it.
And it's a lot more expensive.
And it's a lot more expensive.
And you might have to remind them, Jeanette, about Wednesday night.
Yeah, so Wednesday night, do you know, I said I was going to do this glitzy, and I haven't added that glitzy at all, so I'll have to come on tomorrow and do a glitzy one. I'm adding in some of the orange slices now, kind of in and out.
You've left them all down, they're all very disappointed.
That'll make them all come back. You didn't do enough shares, you see, this is it, you didn't do enough shares for me. On Wednesday night, we're going to do at home with Jeanette. Now, hopefully I have a cleaner. I'll turn up tomorrow and clean the house, okay, before we start. So Wednesday night, is it 7 o'clock, is it?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. We're going to show you how to make your own Christmas table,
suspended
table arrangement, I suppose.
Yeah.
Landscape, only it's going to be up in the sky. So a skyscape, would it be called? Haven't a clue what the proper name is.
Installation.
Listen, an installation. A Christmas installation, okay, over your... Now, I'm going to say dining room table, but listen, this is Rialto, this is me. I don't have a dining room table. It's a kitchen table, okay? So if you have a dining room table, I'm sure you can do it on a posh dining room table. But as I said, I'm an ordinary girl. It'll be done on my kitchen table. And I don't even know whether I'm going to put a tablecloth on it. But listen, we're going to be having a glass of wine.
We are.
A bottle of wine when we're doing it. We'd love as many of you as possible to join in. It's free, it's a free class, but you do have to sign up for it, okay? So it's not going to be live like the way I'm doing this one. So anyone that's watching there on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, you all will have to sign up for it, and then you'll get like a Zoom link for it.
And on TikTok and on Instagram, you can go to the link tree, up to the link in the bio, and you'll find the link to it there. Celine has posted the link over on Facebook, but even just comment, I want the link underneath, and we'll make sure to add the link to it. Sally is asking, what length and gauge wire are you using to put the oranges through? You make it look so easy.
10 inches. So 10 inch wires, there they are there. Maybe they're 12 inch actually, I'm just looking at them there. 10 or 12. 10 or 12 will do. To be honest, with the fruit slices, I find I have a little bit of bling here, right? Put a little bit of bling into it. I find for the fruit slices, the 10 inch wire is probably better, okay? Because what happens otherwise, you have too much wire underneath to try and stick back into the base. You'll do it, it's grand. But where the pine cones, you're probably better off with a 12 inch wire, because again you wrap the wire around the pine cone to make sure that you have enough wire left over to stick back up into it. At 12 inches better. So probably if you're buying them, we'd always have both here at the school. If you buy the 12 inch, because it doesn't matter by having too much wire, you can get rid of it. Where if you have too little wire, it can cause a little bit of a problem. So these are just Christmas picks. All the wholesalers sell them. And again, any of the material that I'm using here today can be bought in the likes of O'Neill's Flowers up in Carlingford, County Louth. If any of the girls are watching there, they might tag them, put the @ O'Neill's Flowers, or Evergreen Silk Plants in RD, County Louth, or wholesaleflowers.ie that are based here in Dublin. And with all of them, you can use our discount code, which is KAYSFS, and somebody might put that in the comments as well.
And Jeanette Flowers by Deb in Liverpool said about the hydrangea wreath that if you go over to YouTube, you have it done over on YouTube.
You know what? She's going to be another secretary. She is. Absolutely. So Deb says, just reminded me, so the girl that asked about the hydrangea wreath, over on our YouTube channel, I've loads and loads of free classes over there. And there's actually how to make a hydrangea wreath, how to make a hydrangea fumarate spray, and how to make a hydrangea door wreath.
Yeah.
Is all over there, and door swag is what I meant to say, sorry. Hydrangea door swag is all over on our YouTube channel. So again, I only added 3 bits of bling into it, you know what I mean? But again, it's just to show you a completely different style of wreath. And again, I'm going to get a length of our polyprop ribbon here. And again, catch it around this part here, kind of tuck it in under the greenery. I hate to see the ribbon kind of like wrapped around, you know that way? So kind of tuck it in under the greenery, and then here at the back I'll just tie a knot. And then it means then when I give it to the customer, they can just hang it on their knockers when they go home. So I'm going to take up the other one.
Okay, so now we need to, which one do you prefer?
What way are we trying?
We're 40 minutes on.
Okay, so there you go, 40 minutes. I done 2 wreaths, and I talk shite, and I'm after dropping all the wires on the floor, which is a bloody nuisance having to pick them up. But there you have our all natural Christmas door wreath, and also we have our Christmas door wreath with a little bit of bling. I was planning on doing a blingier, but then I started talking and I got carried away and I forgot to add the little bling. So they're completely different styles, but yet the technique was similar for both of them. So I'd love to get a vote in the comments there. Which one do you prefer? Okay.
Because this is actually a bit of sort of market research for florists as well, to see, you know, what do people prefer.
Does anyone want to come and pick up all the fucking wires off the table? Janie Mac. Right mess on the floor here, and they haven't landed in the magic bin. Somebody actually asked me on Saturday, is there really a magic bin? I wish there feckin' was. I wish there was a little leprechaun down there now to pick up all them little wires.
And the girl that was looking for the hydrangea wreath, Celine, has just posted the link in the comments. Thank you, Celine.
Fair play to you, Celine.
So you can go there. The natural seems to be winning. The natural, seems to be winning at the moment.
The natural myself.
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely
just drop down a bit. Yeah.
There we go. So,
yes, it's gorgeous.
hope you enjoyed that class. Make sure that you share. If I don't see enough shares, I'm not going to bother my arse coming back on here tomorrow to do another live class, because I'm going to be rightly peed off, because I'm going to have to pick up all these wires here now. And if I see enough shares, enough interaction, enough love, enough likes, tag your friends that like door wreaths, maybe they'd like to see me making them. So if I don't see enough interaction, I'm not going to bother my arse coming back on tomorrow. But if I do see enough interaction, definitely we'll be on during the week again to show you lots more Christmas designs. Now remember, hopefully you'll join us on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. You do need to sign up for it. The link is in the comments
And
there.
somebody asked, could they watch it on the replay? Only if you've signed up.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it on the replay, you won't be able to watch it.
If you haven't signed up, you won't be able to watch it on the replay.
Yeah.
Jesus, you're losing it today.
Definitely losing it today. I don't know whether it's menopause or foggy brain or lack of alcohol, because I didn't even have a few drinks last night. So if you have signed up for the webinar, we will email you out with a link so that you can watch it yourself at your own pace. We originally said we weren't going to, but then there was that many people. I know everybody's busy coming up to Christmas, so we said we won't be putting it up on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok. It'll only be just available on the Zoom, or we email you the link and you can watch it yourself. Well, we better go.
Celine says, would you send that door Wreath to me, ma'am?
Celine, is there any chance you're coming along, sending your man down here to pick up all these wires? And if she does, I'll give her the Wreath then. I'm a lazy cow. Listen, I love yous and leave yous, everyone. Thanks a million for joining. Thanks a million for all the shares. Appreciate it, and talk to yous all soon. See you then.